Hi my friends, I found something really cool. I was hiking what's called the Historical Trail of La Jolla, and just amazing. Now this, you got like this, I don't know if you can see right dead center, I'm trying to hold dead center, you got this like mouth and two eyes and somebody wearing a hat or something there, okay? So I hope you can see that. Well, I'm going to try to do some contrast. Well, darn it. I got the wrong battery mode, so I'm going to pull out a little bit. So you see that right there? It's even got hair on the right hand side of the hat. So right there you can see the two eyes, the mouth, you got a little hair, something like that. That's definitely, I'm pretty sure it's a spiritual angel architect work. It's just awesome. I've been in this La Jolla area a couple times, and I really haven't seen a lot of spiritual things. So I think this, I was telling my mother earlier, I said hopefully I think I finally find something in here that we have some spiritual stuff. But anyway, and it's just awesome watching some of these kayakers and stuff in this area. It's just gorgeous, and I really like this area because that's where they have the sea lions and seals and stuff that come in at night around the corner and the bend and everything like that. So I was going to tell you too, I know this is mostly about me I was going to look real quick to see if I see anything else, because sometimes I miss something, and my mother's really good about saying, hey, did you see that? And then it's like, oh my goodness, it's really clear. Or somebody in the comment field will say something as well. They'll say, geez, Kirk, did you see that? That was there? And boy, look at that. I don't know. I kind of thought that was something very negative looking, like two eyes, but I don't know. That one's probably not. But anyway, so what I was going to tell you was I've learned a lot about my reality and about a lot of our reality, and about things about, you know, about a script, a movie script, kind of like the Truman Show, stuff like that. I got something that blew my mind last night. I was doing some research. I don't know if I told you before about the story. I need to do a video on this, that there hadn't been a shooting in Boulder, Colorado in over 8 years. And your God sent me some message right before that, before I became really spiritual. It's kind of part of my awakening process. That about at 12:05 is May of 2017, where, and you can look it up even on the news, that I was standing there when that shooting occurred. I was telling people run for their lives and stuff like that. Well, anyway, in that shooting, which is really amazing, that the individual's name, this is going to blow your mind. Okay, you ready for this? The individual's name, because I looked back, I didn't really pay attention back then about the names of people involved in this. One of the guys that was shot and killed by this other guy, his name was Christopher King, which is Christ King. Are you kidding me? Christ King is one of the guys' name, like the Lord Christ. Guess what the other guy's name was? It was Lewis. I think it's no, shoot, I forgot his last name because, okay, well, his name was Lewis. And Lewis is another name for Lucifer, I don't know if you knew this, because we have a Louisville, Colorado, which is also very like evil and satanic. Now, I'm not trying to insult anybody that's name is Lewis, but it tends to means Lucifer. So the guy who shot and killed the king, the Lord, Christ King, was Lucifer. Are you kidding me, folks? This is beyond coincidence. It's beyond coincidence. I happen to be standing there when it's occurring and telling people to run for their lives. And this is on 13th and Pearl. Don't you get it? 13, bad number, evil, and pearl. Like diamond, or pearl, white, clean. 13th and Pearl, like a cross between good and evil. I mean, and the place, it's weird. The place where the guy, when I saw the shooting, the guy's running down the street, and I saw that, I'd never seen a gun fired like that. You know, I'm seeing this flame coming out of the gun. It gets even weirder where that the thing he jumps into, the restaurant was called, what was it? It was called like the Babbitt or something. I'm sorry, I should have these names to be more clear. I apologize, but it's been so long ago. Because I just started putting these pieces together last night, and haven't really put a lot of thought to it. But the name of the darn thing, guess what? It actually has a photo. It means rabbit. Okay, and it had a rabbit. They still have a rabbit painting in the front on the window that they've had for ever since the place has been open. So it's like the rabbit hole wonder. I Alice in Wonderland, the rabbit, you get it. You go down the rabbit hole. I mean, I went all the way into this rabbit hole. Probably some of the others, you truthers and reality lookers, we are deep in the rabbit hole. They even make it a Mandela effect, joking about, you know, Alice in Wonderland. There's even an iPad Go 2 that we think that it could be Alice that's sitting there with an apple dropped. There's a ton of stuff, even Mandela effects, in around Wizard of Oz too. But there's a lot of stuff about Alice in Wonderland. And Alice in Wonderland was actually a very dark and kind of evil type story if you really evaluate it. The Queen of Hearts and all these other things, right? It's very, very, very negative. The guy who actually wrote it was, he was accused, we don't know for a fact, but they said accused of taking advantage of a young girl and using her as his own personal relationship and you know what else stuff, right? And he was just a naughty guy, right? And so, and also, like I said, the rabbit's trickery. The rabbit was also in Alice in Wonderland. The rabbit was always doing some unusual things, right? And also the cat, right? But anyway, but what's really interesting, I told you when I was down in Phoenix, Arizona, I did a whole video on this, that it gets weird because there's this huge rabbit, you know, the structure of this sculpture, this rabbit again. I'm like sitting there in shock, like, why is there this big rabbit here? And it had, and I told everybody, so this means a lot to me, because that's when a lot of this whole thing started. That's when I came more awake through the rabbit hole, the Mandela effect, and all these things. Boom, boom, boom. That was my awakening process. And you probably have your own awakening process or something that happens to you to make you realize this whole dang world is just completely artificial script, things like this. Now, this doesn't mean that we're not here to serve a purpose. It doesn't mean that we're not here to serve a creator and all these things like that. It has nothing to do with that, but it's just darn amazing, because I still appreciate that and love this, that I'm part of this script, this story, this movie, whatever we're, you know, this thing that we're under. But it just blows my mind. So I did a whole thing about that. So if you walk down from that, it's in Scottsdale. If you walk down from that rabbit, remember there's the Genesis. It says there's a painting on it in the building. I think I took a video of that. It's standing up, and you know, that has the new Mandela effect was it David putting his finger out towards God and trying to touch it? Well, his hand posture and everything's completely different. The angels around the supposed God of that painting is completely different. And so everything there's all this Mandela effect of that in that same area. I mean, really, folks, I mean, this is beyond coincidence. This is direct communication from the spiritual realm, right? And you know, a lot of us have had direct communication through songs or those moments of timing and sequence. And I'm not going to go in that new age garbage. You know, some of this new age garbage gets too deep in this stuff. But I'm true, there's timing, sequence, there's a lot of things happening. You know, there's a lot there that you need to pay attention to, your environment, things like this. Now, we don't need to worry about it, because here, I do think we're here for a special purpose. We're here to learn, we're to help one another. We're here to do, you know, do loving things. I mean, it's changed my world and the way I see things. Unfortunately, it's changed me too. Like, you know, you hear me sometimes I throw a rant about the NPCs, these non-player characters when stuck in flesh. And like, even when I walk down the beach today, sometimes I just want to throw up at the stupidity I see and the naughtiness I see with people. It's like, man, you just want to go up and shake them, wake them up, say, hey, wake up. You know, there's so much more to this world. There's so much more to live for than just your daily grind, a daily living the flesh, your daily the BS that you're seeing here. You know, I mean, there's so much more. You're trapped in just the garbage of drinking and you know, even on the edge of the beach, and you know, just, it's not even about the drinking, just, you know, just the whole, you know, the whole stupid game of just where they got you in the system program. You're not awake and you're not seeing the wonders around you. You're not. And I don't, it's like, it's really hard to explain to somebody when you're fully enlightened, you know what I mean? Try to explain to somebody you're fully awake and enlightened. It's so hard, because now that I see it, because I used to be one of these people that just kind of hanging on the beach and blah, blah, blah. I'm just sitting here, you know, enjoying the beach and just looking around, you know what I mean? But once you get fully enlightened, it changes your whole aspects of what the world's about, what you see, and the things you want to experience and the things you want to do. And you know, the things that you could have with your friends and family, and just how you could truly live just beyond what these people do just by their daily grind, right? So, not to go on that. So I finally understand what enlightenment means, right? And I hope you do too, when you're awake to everything and you awake to what truly makes a good person, how to truly love somebody, how to truly show compassion, that's why I said it makes you holy. So when you have all this evil and this good bouncing back and forth, that's the thing, is I've been exposed to so much evil, I want to puke half the time. But now that I've seen the dark and the light, I understand how this whole thing works. I understand how it's an orchestra. I understand everything about it. That's what makes you whole. It makes you holy, right? It makes you balance. Like even the cross that the Lord was on, and I hate bringing it up because it hurts my feelings. But even that, it's a balance. The left and right, the cross, and and some have put in knowledge that the Lord on the cross is a balance between the good and evil and all these other things. But anyway. But it's also the yin and yang and stuff that we talk about in Buddhism and all these other things about how you have this thing. So the problem is in the world today we have too much dark. The dark is way taking over the light and things like this, and it's way out of balance, right? But once you understand from that perspective and lighting, it's not that you can justify evil, but you understand the things behind it, what drives it, and you kind of put things into balance where you can actually understand what it all is about. Okay, so not to go on about that. So, I'd be interested in some comments of, what your awakening process is, what you saw enlightenment, so how you realize there's so much more to the story, right? I told you one time I was in Montrose, Colorado, and I asked your God creator, I said, is there more to the story? And the answer was, oh, you wouldn't believe it, Kirk. There is so much more to the story that you have no comprehension of it, right? We have no comprehension of how much more there is to the story. You know what I mean? Like I said one time, even trying to understand how something came from nothing, how I'm sitting here in this, how is it, who created God? What was the beginning? Just that concept itself can drive you mad, right? So anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying there's so much more to the story that we don't know. And some of that's on purpose because like even earlier today I was in a Walmart. I know this is getting long, but I apologize, it's important. I started talking to a lady who is a solid Christian, and I started telling her about some spiritual things, this and that, and she said, I got goosebumps. And I said, what, you scared? And she goes, yes, I'm scared, because that's what I got to tell you, I've had that happen many times. So we got to be very careful about putting people into shock, because even though they read the Bible and they know about spirituality, it's not even about being a Christian. Even though that they're into spirituality and read all these things, and they go to church or whatever they do in their own spiritual world, when you bring it to life and make it real, it's almost overwhelming to them. But they're going to be exposed to this as we come into this end of times in the beginning. They're going to see more of the spiritual stuff, and they're going to have to handle it, right? But because even me, when I first started to realize, at first I was getting glimpses of spirituality and stuff, and that's why you're kind of eased into it versus a shock all at once. That it's like, oh my goodness. I said, oh, you're kidding me. And then it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and pretty soon you're like, then you realize that 99% of this world that we're looking around is a spiritual realm. 99%. Just these people have no idea. We're just 99%. You see, it's upside down. Now that may be a high number, but it is big. I mean, everything, the news, the politicians, the surroundings, through my videos, through all of these things, everything around us is a spiritual realm. And, so it's like the upside down, everything, it's like this illusion. And once you see through the illusion, through the veil gets pulled back, it's like, whoa, you got to be kidding me. And I'm still learning some things. I never thought I'd find out more and learning more. And keep learning more and more, Oh my goodness. You just don't realize it is just so much. And it goes not just from today, it goes back in history. You start peeling history, you got to say, oh my goodness, you mean this has been going on for thousands of years? I mean, on beyond just the Christian Bible, so just thousands and thousands of years we've had the spiritual thing going on. I mean, way deep, It's not just a bunch of Native Americans beating on some drums and praying to some ancestors and the Father in heaven in the sky that they know they said they're the great one, the God of all. No, I mean, it is real. And what they were exposed to back then, I bet we couldn't even imagine the things. Like I said, all that's been hidden from us. We're awakening again to our spirituality. It's kind of like it declined. Now it's pulling back up. You know what I mean? So anyway, sorry to go on about that. It's just So what I'm saying is you got to be very careful about, because some people think you're insane or crazy, or it's just too much of shock. They go into fear. And I told them, don't fear. I said, you shouldn't be afraid. I said, just follow the rules, love one another, and that your God, your Creator, loves you. And I said, you're good to go. I said, don't fear these things. I said, that's that. I said, once you see, and I had to break through that, because I went through this scared moment, then freaking out, and then pretty soon, like, even the Lord said once, He says, you'll be shocked once you find out the truth. And then He said, you'll be disturbed. And you get through that disturbed stage, and then you get back to the calmness, like, okay, I'm going to be okay in this situation. But the thing is, I still get disturbed. I get disturbed about the things I see around us. Are we winning this battle? I mean, who's on our side? I mean, gosh, I've been getting my butt kicked, and I just keep on to know the faith that hell has a purpose in the end, and it'll be fine. But I'm telling you, I'm telling you, there's times that you've heard me complain, bitch, and holler, and rant, and everything else. But anyway, all right, so God bless you all, and hope you're having a great day. Take care.